I'm Lee Alexander. I'm a research professor at CCOM. Like everything at CCOM, we do things as a team. And I was asked to step in that I'm also retired Navy and have done this type of thing before, to oversee the construction and delivery of a new vessel. This is the research vessel, Gulf Surveyor, built in Bellingham, Washington, specifically for our center. Like many vessels, we looked at our requirements and what was available. And this vessel, rather unique design catamaran that's very stable and suitable for hydrographic surveying. So we looked at a number of vessels that have been built by a shipyard called All American Marine. We're impressed by the quality of workmanship. So when the contract was let in April of last year, April of 2015, we were expecting to be about 1 year for this vessel to be built. There were some changes we made, specifically, say, in the lab area here, as well as on the bridge. There are always new developments in shipboard navigation systems, electronic equipment, computer-assisted navigation, and we wanted this vessel to be the best available state-of-the-art, but also reliable and practical. There were basically 3 of us involved. Myself, I was the overall project coordinator. There was Captain Paul Bellatier, who was involved in the sea trials that were conducted in January, and also a mate, Dan Torriello. This vessel was launched in December of 2015. The vessel then was transited or sailed from Bellingham, Washington to Victoria, British Columbia, where she waited for transport via a so-called heavy lift ocean transport vessel. This was done in February on board the heavy lift vessel Volga that went through the Panama Canal and delivered this vessel in just south of Fort Lauderdale in Port Canaveral, Florida. Paul Pelletier, Dan Torriello, myself, we then went down, spent about a week outfitting the vessel, and then sailed her up the East Coast, all 1,400 miles from Florida to New Hampshire. During our transit up, we would spend about 10 hours a day underway, sailing. Ideally, we could have sailed more off the East Coast, but the weather was not cooperating. Heavy seas, strong winds, so we spent about a third of the time, or 3/4 of the time rather, in the intercoastal waterway. Every ship's bridge is a little bit different, and this one was, a lot of time and effort was put into what equipment and where the displays are located and ergonomics and all those other types of things. Since this is a survey vessel, it means we can very precisely steer the vessel, literally maintaining its intended course within just a few feet. A key display, we have another display over here showing chart information. Everything from radio communications to operations of some of the equipment on the bridge, whether it be for windshield wipers or ventilation or whatever. Main cabin of the vessel, we also call it the laboratory. Again, we had specific requirements for the types of desks and chairs and everything from racks where equipment could be located. Easily 4, as many as 6 people conducting the hydrographic surveys. You can control, for instance, the amount of, if you have a towfish, the amount of cable that's played out or being brought in from this station. Compared to most vessels of this size, this vessel is only 48 feet long. This is a very large, very spacious, very comfortable and workable workspace. Now that the vessel's been designed, built, tested, transited here, gone through the Coast Guard certificate of inspection, this is now the captain and the mate that operate the vessel. Captain Emily Terry is certified by Coast Guard to operate vessels like this. Dan Torriello helped bring the vessel up from Florida, and now he's the mate. So 2 very capable, qualified people. They're now the ones that operate the vessel for the research purposes. This is a multi-mission research vessel capable of doing many different types of things. One of the more prominent pieces of equipment is this A-frame. This is rated for 2,000 pounds for towing different types of equipment and gear. It's hydraulically operated, has a block here that can be hitched up to the winch. So any number or many different types of equipment can be towed or brought on board with this A-frame. These are 2 dive platforms for whether it be a scuba diver or even for free diving, snorkel diving. This heavy-duty looking ram, as it's called, is one of the key workhorses of this vessel. This is capable of deploying any number of types of acoustic sonars, particularly multi-beam sonars that are used for ocean floor mapping, hydrographic survey. This is called a moon pool, and this will actually deploy between the two pontoons of the catamaran. This can be lowered as far down as 6 feet below the water, with its rugged design, the vessel can go at moderate speed, make rapid turns. A key feature of this vessel being able to conduct state-of-the-art ocean floor mapping. Second deck area of the vessel is where we would operate a lot of the equipment that's on the main deck and on the fantail. This is actually, we can steer the vessel from here, we can control the engines, we can monitor how much tow line has been paid out, we can operate the deck winch, the crane. Any number of things can be done all from here, and again, for safety purposes, this is a very good visual as well as away from some of the equipment placed that the equipment can be operated. I'll have to be candid. If you're involved in the construction or design, construction, testing, outfitting, eventually it's really hard to let go. The vessel becomes kind of a part of you. It's like raising a child. You see them go off to college, and eventually they go off on their own. It's hard to let go. Now, the next generation that will take over, but part of my heart will always be on board this vessel. So I hope she does well. I'm pretty sure she will.